And X-Swing, please get ready. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our presentation and our team, Be a Globetrotter. And first of all, I want to welcome Mr. Steven, Jerry, and also Sean. Thank you for being our judge. So, to cut to the chase, right? Our team here consists of 3 people. My name is Ellen. I'm the founder of the company. And we have Will here, who's going to be our marketing director, and also Karen, who's our operations director. Okay. So, to start off, to be a Globetrotter is our central theme for this business venture. And what does it mean? I want to be able to communicate the idea that people should be always traveling and gaining new perspectives. And that's basically where this word comes from, right? Be a Globetrotter. And it's basically a personal passion as well, because a lot of my friends and myself, we like to spend a lot of our savings on traveling, right? We might not, I don't know if it's like people that are born in the 80s kind of thing, but young people are more and more willing to kind of travel, and of course the travel industry has been in existence for the longest time as well. But I think given the day and age, companies such as Uber, Airbnb have forever changed the way people live and travel nowadays, right? So I think there's a huge opportunity here for us to be able to revamp the traveling and tour industry as well. So there we go. So just to briefly introduce our agenda, we're going to have 6 sections here. Our first going to be a market analysis. Second is going to be our product pitch. Third, we're going to do an implementation plan for you and also let the numbers speak for themselves. And finally, we will conclude and open up the floor for question and answers. So I'll hand it off to Will now.
Okay. So as Alan has mentioned, we are a tour company, and the foremost things we're gonna consider about is the existing market opportunities. So these are 4 opportunities that we concluded in here. This is just a brief idea. We usually have a graph over here, but there's some technical problems, so I'm just gonna tell you guys the data. According to a statistic from the U.S. Tourism Council annual research, the direct contribution of tours to GDP was 416 billion, which is 2.6% of the total GDP in 2014. And this will rise by 3.8% per year from 2015 to 2025. And taking this step for a step further, the research also showed us U.S. is expected to attract more than 130 million international tourist arrival by the 2025, generating the expenditure of 280 billion, which is an increase of 3.7% per year annually. So from this number, we can tell that it is such a booming industry that has a lot of potential opportunities in it. On the other hand, Obama administration also has introduced new visa policies, which could be a catalyst for spurring the international visitors to come to U.S. Let's take China as an example. The short-term business and tourist visa will be increased from 1 year to 10 years, and the students and exchange visas also will be valid for 5 years. This also up from 1 year. So this is definitely a game changer for the tour industry. And as a startup company, we are for now we are focusing on the 3 main parts of the customer. First one is the first-time visitor to the U.S. As I mentioned before, the U.S. travel tour industry has booming really fast. And the second one is non-English or non-native English speaker. Our company will provide them some really professional guides to help them to deal with their language barrier. And also a student who currently study in the U.S. planning to travel during the school break, like the coming spring break. We are going to give them some detailed and flexible tour plan for them, and hopefully meets their budgets. So we have, before we go into implement our plan, we have to understand the competitors in the market. So basically there are two types of competitors. One is the online traveling book site and the other one is offline tour operators. For our company, we are kind of like combined both of each one, and also has some pros and cons. So for the online offline service side, the most obvious advantage is its price, like Expedia.com. You can always find some really nice deal on that site. And the second one is really easier to use. Like you can find many comparative hotels price from different options. For the cons of the online travel and booking sites, I think the most important one is poor customer services, because this kind of third-party companies always outsource their customer service department. So if you wanted to change your reservation, it's better for you to go ask for the hotel directly. But for our company, we have our own customer service department to deal with this kind of problem. And the second one is offline tour operators. Their advantage is, first of all, it's really safe. And because they have, you don't have to worry about arranging any transportation, accommodations, food, etc. And really it reduces the risk of being a victim of petty crime, and it's also guaranteed accommodation every night. But for the cons of this kind of operators, they are really expensive. Really expensive than doing it by yourself. Because this kind of company have a significant amount of overhead to cover, and also the disadvantage is that being travel with such a large group, you barely scratch off the surface before you hustle back to the bus and go into the next destination. And so for further analysis, I'm going to hand out to Karen.
Thank you, Will. Okay, so why be a Globetrotter? And our core value here is that we want to bring out more and more people to explore nature, cities, and the humanities within them. People expect to learn things during their travels. Travel can open up one's mind and bring different perspectives to help enhance a person's ability to think problem in a different way. As our technology is becoming more advanced, it's much easier for people to connect people all around the world together. With our business right now based in Midwest, we're going to expand our company across the entire world to everywhere on Earth. Okay, so our business model is pretty straightforward. It's comparable to Airbnb and Uber. Our customers can simply choose their own personalized touring routes through the app we're going to develop, and then request a trip schedule, and then boom, get going. After the completion of the trip, our customers can give us the feedback through the app we're going to develop, which will help not only the future customers, but also to improve our services. And we do have some potential roadblocks for the business. However, we have already come up with some of the solutions to help mitigate these problems. A very critical concern is the transportation. As we derive all our resources from nature, we must also care about the environmental sustainability. That's why we chose electrical vehicles as our transportation tool, such as the BYD C10 electric coach, BYD as the only electric coach provider in North American market, and VIA Motors electric passenger van. And even more, we have Tesla Model X for customers choose luxury routes. Second issue will be the weather. We cannot fight with the weather. And people often choose from April to November to travel, which means we might face a lack of business during these off-season. But that's okay. We can develop popularity with different attractions for different seasons, such as winter wonderlands in northern parts and summer breed themes in southern parts. Sorry. Another very important thing to us is a safety issue. To ensure our customers' safety, we will hire drivers that are experienced and put on background checks on both the drivers and the tour guides to see if they have any criminal history. Safety to us is our #1 priority. And integrity is also crucial to us. We're going to build our trust based on our reliable services. And with the aforementioned drivers and tour guides, in addition, we're going to offer free routes to our customers to invite them to explore our services. And last but not least, there is a question of how we're going to advertise our company. Social media is a very powerful tool. We will give out promotions and advertisement through all kinds of social media. Furthermore, we believe good products need little advertising, which leads to my last point here, that good products can be set apart from ordinary with integrity. Thanks. And I'm going to pass on to Alan.
Thanks, Karen. That was very well done. So now is the part where it's everybody's favorite, right? Accounting? No, not really. Okay. Well, unfortunately, everybody needs the numbers to speak for themselves, right? So we have the financial forecast on the screen here. As any startup goes, the first few years of the startup are usually going to have negative revenues, whether you like it or not. Companies nowadays, such as Tesla, one of my personal favorite companies, I think Elon Musk is a great entrepreneur of our present day. His company has been in the red for the first, at least 6-7 years, and their first ever quarter with a positive revenue was in 2013. That was almost a decade after they were in business. So I think it's absolutely acceptable for you to have negative revenues in the beginning, but the good things will come at last, right? So we're forecasting for first year revenues $5,000 in revenue, and that will give us a negative profitability. Second year, $20,000. Again, negative profitability due to a lot of expenses to spend, for everything that we just mentioned before. And then the third year, we're actually going to be able to generate a profit, $50,000. Fourth year, that's the year that we're targeting to have this app to be able to be launched, right? It's going to be like Airbnb, where everyday people can go on it, register yourself as a tour guide, and people from all over the world, if they're interested in your home country or home city, they can choose you as their guide. And if they trust you, then great, good for you, right? So once the app launches, we actually are very optimistic about our revenue. We actually can see ourselves going up to $1 million in revenues, and in the fifth year, $2 million. And you can see some of the percentages on the right side of the screen as well. Very promising. And I'm telling you now, if this idea goes to play, those are actually not crazy, even though they may seem like so. And so here we have a 5-year cash flow forecast. So cash flow is always a key for any business. I don't care if you're old or new or whatever. So year 1 to 5, as you can see, first of all, we have our initial investment of $40,000. And then for year 1, we're definitely going to be spending a lot of that money on advertising, the leasing of vehicles, hiring tour guides. So year 2 and 3 are definitely going to be another 2 years of hard work, where, like I said before, we're planning on developing this app platform where it's similar to Airbnb, and if you've used it, you'll understand what I mean, right? So year 4 and 5 are actually going to be a lot better, based, again, like what I said before, on our revenue numbers. We are going to see positive cash flows. And in our favorite world of finance, which I'm sure Mr. Steven would understand really well. If you want to evaluate a company, thank you, you would have to one of the best ways to use a discounted cash flow method. We have used a WACC, weighted average cost of capital of 8%, which is taken from a very notable website for and that's for the travel industry. So if you discount all of that 5 years cash flow, we arrive at a value of $797,867. So that is a very promising number. As you can see, I think we have proven us very well so far that you should be investing in us. It is a great business opportunity. And also Michigan is actually strategically located for this kind of service due to the nature of the transportation industry. And again, just want to wrap it up, be like saying that there is a Globetrotter in you, so go be one. Thank you.
In regards to, Airbnb, you made that reference a few times. How do you envision qualifying, the tourism or the driver? Because the first thing is, if you have someone, it's their first visit, the safety, but this is maybe their one time in their life, they may actually be there, and if they have a bad experience that one time, I mean, it's going to set, especially if it's a dream vacation for them. How do you anticipate managing that?
I think you asked a very key question. So in that case, right, the one thing that we need to strive for in our whole business idea is the integrity of the people we work with. So unlike Airbnb has a really good verification process actually, and you can always see on the person's profile whether they're verified by offline ID, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those kind of things. So personally, I'm an Airbnb host, and I've stayed at various different Airbnbs, and I know once I see all those verifications, I have a pretty good level of comfort in trusting that person. So I think that's the kind of idea that we are preaching here, to be able to set an environment where we only want trustworthy and friendly and the people that we can trust to be friendly and be able to host other people in our services. So I hope that answered your question.
In the state of Michigan, there's a system you can do it for employees. It's somewhat archaic, but I know it can be done where you can put in driver's license and it can keep you updated through the state if an infraction comes about. So you may want to look into that to ensure that way if someone got drunk driving or something away from it in your system, that you'd be notified as a red flag and you could pull their capabilities.
You know what, I actually did not know that. Thanks for letting us know. That's really good to know. Thank you, Leah.
Obviously, tourism is very hot, and especially Michigan, given we've been promoting Michigan tourism a lot through our organization and our partners as well. I just was thinking how I can use this platform if I travel to, let's see, North Africa. Can I get somebody like this kind of service if I want to use it with my family?
Definitely. So, like I was saying, one of the business model I really like and admire is Airbnb, and I know they are widely used in North Africa. Like, as a matter of fact, I actually know friends that have traveled to Europe and Northern Africa, that they have used Airbnb and they had positive experiences. It's actually a very trusted community still at this point. And honestly, I let people into my house where I just leave a lockbox outside. They come into my house and I trust them, and then they can leave. We can meet if our schedules work out together, and if we don't, then we can just, have a stay and leave, and everything's done online, right, all the transactions. So I think you should definitely feel comfortable trusting this kind of service as well. And like I said, the people we work with, we need to make sure they have integrity and they're honest, trustworthy people we're working with, right?
Yeah, and another thing to mention is, we also have, we're going to develop our own app platform with our tour services, which will definitely be a really good convenience for the future customers. Like, our guides can be contacted with within this app. You can just tell them your preferences, what kind of tour you want to design with, and you can just using a small app. Well, no matter where you are, it's really user friendly. Also, yeah. And also we are cooperating with students, university student organizations Like for example, the coming spring break, if some students are planning to like go to like a PCB or somewhere like that, having party, having fun, and they can have some better deals, or they can just have some friends gather together, and we can also help them to gather the people with same interests together and guide them to the place they want to go.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And actually, one final announcement. I'm actually heading to San Diego, Chile tomorrow. My flight is at 7 a.m. I just have a week off in between jobs. So I just want to say that I personally live and I want to be a Globetrotter, and I think everyone should be able to do that too. Okay, thank you.
Let's go crazy, crazy, crazy till we see the world.
Thank you for our participants for bringing us a great presentation and the songs.